the YouTube channel? I know, it's just quite unusual. Very odd. I actually did bring tea and I brought my headband as well if I get a wee bit cold. So, right, we definitely don't want to do power. So, got some right, where are we starting? I had some reading that was quite interesting. So we're going to come into, to start with, we're going to come just into a seat. So just into a nice Sukhasana. Are you okay with the lights or is it too bright for you? You okay? You all right? So just coming into a little seated pose. And just allow yourself just to settle. To lengthen the spine. Allow the breath just to lengthen. And we're just going to work through a series of yin twists tonight, and maybe some yin inversions. Obviously not big headstands, but just gentle and soft. And I was going to finish with a yoga nidra this evening. And just like in power yoga, we were thinking about the center today, coming back to the center. So we're going to just move to a seated twist. So to do that, we're just going to gently draw ourselves. Now, there's a couple of options here. You can come to Dandasana and you can just allow the leg to come over and that other leg to come behind you. Or you can keep the leg extended in Dandasana if you're just sat on a blanket. So it's really where you're comfy. And then we can extend this twist. So find a place that you're just supported. It might be that you've got an extra pillow or something. And you can increase this. You can gently just draw. We do this in class. There's a couple of ways you can do this and your body will tell you which way. You can draw outwards. So I'm away from my knee. Or you can close this twist. Now I like the closed twist, but everyone's very different. And I don't like to say which one you prefer. You're allowed to make smiley faces and make her laugh. It's fine. I've had a silly day today. Yes, lots of laughter. Yes, we had this really, really posh work photo last week. And then there's an app that makes all the mouths move and you sing silly songs. Yeah, it got doctored. It's quite funny. And in this twist, just allow a gentle breath and allow that length and lift through the spine. Don't over twist. You don't want to lock. You certainly don't want to overstretch anything. Allowing yourself just to gently unwind. And when we are playing with the yin twist, we always come back to the center. We always come back to the center line, just drawing that symmetry back into the body. So coming into Dandasana. Now allow this to be a softer pose. You can allow the toes just gently to relax. Maintaining that length of the spine. So we come back to that neutral position. Before we then move to the opposite side. So opposite leg over, you might tuck the leg behind you. And then again, find that place that you're comfy. And really think about maintaining that length in the body. Not forcing anything up, we're just using that spine just to lengthen. Twists can actually be quite calming. We're always returning back to center. So there's a real metaphor in yin twists. You know, we find ourselves in slightly awkward positions or situations. So we come back to the center. And the yin twist is exactly the same. Slightly more stimulating in their kind of outlook. So returning back to that neutral position when you're ready. Remember, when we're in Dandasana, if you've got a blanket or anything you want to put under the back of your legs, you can do. Coming back to that center line. And we bring to these neutral poses Sukha. Sukha in Sanskrit is ease. And softness. We're going to gently move to a child's pose. So we're going to bring a twist into the child's pose as well. So, and again, you can use this as much or as little as you want. So I'm going to use a wide-legged child's pose. And I'm going to use a blanket just to soften my knees. And as you bring yourself down into child's pose, you can just take normal child's pose to start if you want to. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring the arm under and then take the arm either forward or, like we would thread the needle, you can take it to a little bind behind you. You can pad the shoulder, you can bring the shoulder down to a cushion. If it's not for you, just come to a normal child's pose. So knees come out, toes come together. That's it. Threading the arm underneath. Now, if you just want softness in this pose, then you can allow that top forearm to rest on the other forearm. Or you can take a little bit more in this by drawing it forwards, or just tucking in the small into the waist. Allow the hips to relax. And you'll know when you're ready to come back to child's pose. You'll start to feel a little fidgety. If you can feel any tingling or anything in your hand, then we just generally, if we start to feel those sensations, we generally come all the way back into that central pose. Allowing the body to melt. And these gentle twists are really good for maintaining length in the spine. And they just slightly stimulate the nervous system, slightly stimulate the internal organs. So it's always just being careful not to have to do lots of twists and having just eaten. So if you have, just be gentle with yourself. Moving to the other side when you're ready. And to do that, before we transition to the other side, we're going to center ourselves. So if you haven't come into child's pose already, or even I find myself in a little froggy pose here, anything where the center line is just at the focus. And allowing the head, if you've got a cushion or a block, you can bring that down. Returning to that balance. And then when you're ready, transitioning to the opposite side. So knees just gently wide, and if your hips are struggling to meet the heels, just pop a blanket in between the back of the heels, and then just allow yourself to come down. Again, head could come to a pillow, a little bit of height if you wish. Breathe into these poses. Just allowing soft, gentle breath. You'll know when you're ready to move, and that might be now. It might be a minute or two. It's totally up to you. And when you do, coming back to that central pose, that child's pose, or even with the toes apart and the heels just apart, you can also come to that little froggy pose as well, bring a little height to the forehead. Just allowing yourself that space. As we transition, coming back up really gradually, use your hands to just gently move you. Now, we're going to come into a little seated pose when you're ready. And it's going to take, if you've got a cushion or blanket, it's going to take a little bit of props. So I'll show you what you can do with the props. We're going to come into a pose where it's almost like deer pose. So we're with cushion to one side. Now, we're going to bring our body down onto this. So we're going to twist at the waist and we're going to bring our body down. But you might want to bring a prop up to you if you've got. If not, then adjust it if you're comfy with that. So what you can do is either with a cushion or you can do blocks. You can bring blocks into a T or prop some cushions up just on your left-hand side. What that does is it allows us to lift and lengthen the spine, and you'll take a little moment to get comfy here, to come down to this. Now, you've got options here. You can either take the gaze just to the front, and it's really dependent on how you feel, or you can take the gaze to the back. Now, one is slightly deeper twist on the shoulder blades than the other in the back. And if you've got jackets, use jackets and things like that as well, just to prop yourself up. And it's just allowing that softness to lift and lengthen, to turn gently and bring yourself down. If you haven't got the props that suit, you're right. You can use the blanket as well over the cushion, and that will also help you. So that's it. Have you got enough there, Vicky? Yeah, sure. And then see if you can find a place of comfort. Now, this is one of these yin poses that when it's supported, you can stay here for a really long time. But find where you're comfy. If it's not comfy for you, just move gently. And there's a lovely quote. I had to bring the book with me because it's a beautiful book. And it has a lovely yoga nidra practice in at the end. And the quote is actually from Rumi, and it says, "Your hand opens and closes, opens and closes. If it were always a fist or always stretched open, you would be paralyzed. But your deepest presence is in every small contracting and expanding. The two is beautifully balanced as and coordinated as birds' wings." And I thought that was just lovely. That kind of in the human body and the birds. It's just so many joints and so many movements. And Yin Yoga is really allows us to explore and bring that presence into our practice. And when you're ready, and you can stay here as long as you need, it's coming back to that central position. So one that we can come to just to kind of is butterfly, just allowing a gentle butterfly. And in these transition poses, we can just take a moment just to soften the body, just allow that relaxation. It's always a good one, I think, just to give your feet a little massage. Fluffy socks. I hope we've got quite a collection. Mine are very boring fluffy socks at the moment. But I do. I haven't been for ages. Must go. In fact, I could. Oh no, could I do that on? No. What time's the book night start? 13th. It's 7. Yeah, it should be closed. That's fine. I know she would. She needs a rest sometimes too. She's a workaholic, as Ingrid. Thank you. We don't need to stay here too long, but to come to the other side and explore what it feels like on the other side. So just take your time. Take your time in Yin to get your props sorted. And stacking blocks is always, it gives a little bit of height if you have them. You don't have to have them. If you're looking for little prezzies at Christmas, Ecotex Yoga is a company in Edinburgh. They do really affordable bolsters, just really nice colours, just very plain. But you can be, yeah, I think there's a discount code I've got. So yeah, they're really nice. Or you could just roll a blanket up and make one. It's quite nice, isn't it, to have a treat? So find that length in the spine, allowing yourself just to lift. And then we walk ourselves gently into these poses. And explore maybe whether you're comfortable with the neck one way or the other, the gaze one way or the other. And one way you'll create more heat. So twist can create that little bit more energy, as well as being quite calming. So you can choose. And when we come back to neutral, when we've been in twist, it's really that analogy about life being a balance. So just releasing after holding on. After every inhale, there is an exhale. Inhale. Really annoying, sorry. Whenever you're ready, we're going to come, and please stay longer. We're going to come to just a constructive rest pose on our backs, because we're going to bring this down to a supine rooted twist. So to come down, I'm actually going to bring the blanket onto the mat. I think it's losing its fluff. There we are. Just to bring a little warmth to the mat. And we're going to come into a supine twist now. This is a twisted root, it's called. And you need to be careful of your back a little bit here, because it's quite deep. So we take our legs like eagle legs. So we wrap. So you can wrap once, or you can tuck the foot gently around the back of the leg. As you do that, you might want some height with a cushion to just allow that twist to be just gentler on the lower back. If that's not for you, you can still come into the supine twist. But what we're wanting to do is to keep the shoulders engaged with the mat. You can actually use the cushion between the knees if twisting your legs isn't for you with the twisted root. So you can actually bring that to you. And you can also tuck in a cushion behind you on the hip as well. If you had a cushion, I don't know whether a block will do it, but it might. So just to give yourself as much support. The whole point of the yin poses is that we're really supporting our body. So there's a depth to the twist. So where they're comfy, Vicky. So either mine end up on my lower back and then supporting me as a little stabilizer. If you want to, you can bring them into that kind of yang pose. But because we're in a yin pose, one might come to the belly, one might come to the lower back. So it's really where you naturally feel comfy. Allow the breath to be soft. I'm so sorry with the iPhone. Anybody works it out before I do, please do share. So easy before. Scarily, what you can tell is that my life is notifications. And it just doesn't ever stop. So I'm really annoyed they've taken that focus button off. Yeah, can't do either. You do, because they've done an update. Show me in a bit. Thank you. Thank you. So when you're ready, coming back to constructive rest pose. Hoping Santa Claus brings me a diffuser for Christmas. Just bringing yourself onto your back, windshield wipering if you want, or just bringing the knees gently together. Very much dependent on how you feel. Taking that time just to allow the spine to settle. And then gently, when you're ready, either choosing that twisted root, which I think is a wonderful analogy and it's actually quite visual when you're wrapping your legs and then kind of coming into that tree kind of route. There's that wee joke, isn't there, about the way yogis and yoginis sleep. It's like who sleeps in tree pose and who sleeps, and you actually notice yourself. I do. Yeah, I know. Well, yes. Conceded to a king size duvet. Yes. And just prop yourself so that you feel totally supported. And what I want you to do is to make sure that you're balancing that left and right so that what you felt on the left and the right and the support is the same on each side. Trying to find that serenity in each pose. And you'll know when you're ready just to move back to the center line, really paying attention to how you move back to that constructive rest. So feet as wide as the yoga mat, and that allows the knees just to be supported together. Allows you just a moment, hands wherever they're comfy. And from this constructive rest pose, we're actually going to come to a really gentle supported bridge. And what we do to achieve that is you can use a block if you've got a block, or you can use a cushion or even a bolster to just prop under your lower back. So knees in line with the hip points, feet firmly on the ground. So we're not lifting up into bridge here where we've got the glutes engaging and we've got this really yang kind of bridge. We're actually just softening this. Now, a block sometimes takes you a little higher if you want, and the block can sit just above the tailbone. So it just allows a little arch of the back. So it's the cushion will be softer. The block just keeps the pose in place. So it's whatever props you have. And this is actually a yin inversion, because what we're doing is the head is below the heart slightly. So we call this a yin inversion. Slightly more cooling. So you might notice the breath is cooler. A really interesting fact about yoga, in particular relevant to hatha yoga, with these and to this pose. And there's a belief that as a vital fluid now, the Sanskrit is amrita, is stored at the base of the brain. And this is the nectar of life and feeds our prana, our energy. So I think these, whether you believe or not, they're really interesting kind of little facts about where yoga is based, in what tradition. And so when the head is below the heart, there's a little chin lock, and it's said that it keeps that fluid from draining away, and that preserves our lifespan and vitality. So there we are. I think I'll have a little bit of that. So when you're ready to come out of supported bridge, we're actually going to just gently come up to seated. So however you do that, maybe just to gently draw yourself back to constructive pose, constructive rest pose, to gently draw you back down. And then that's it, just prop yourself back up to seated. Now, I'm just bringing ourselves back up to kind of an easy pose here. And if you want to, just taking a little bit of movement, you've been working really hard. We're going to come to a relaxation. So you might just want to come to a little seated fold, or you might want to come to a little butterfly here, just to take a moment, just to bring that center line back into our practice, wherever's comfy for you. So just bringing that pose slightly upright. Remember, if you are in butterfly and you do want to prop this, you've got cushions, you can prop either side so it doesn't become too harsh. Absolutely. I did actually remember my flask tonight. Hot gin's lovely when you're driving. Joke. So, and I have time for a yoga nidra practice tonight. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with yoga nidra is sleeping yoga. So it's a relaxation. Pardon? Yes, a Kori at home. If you can find your duvet and make sure that if you fall asleep, you're nice and warm and cozy, then that's great. You could do this lying on your bed, Kori at home, actually. So, yeah, she's put a thumb up. Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to do, I want you to make sure you're warm and that you're comfy. So if you want to, we come down to Shavasana. So you need to be comfy in Shavasana as well. So in Yin Yoga, when we lie with our legs outstretched, it can actually often put a little bit of pressure on the lower back. So to counteract that, what you can do is, this is a bit big for under my knees, but you can use a little blanket under the knees. Allow the knees, instead of pointing up the way, allow the knees to turn out very slightly. And that allows you to relax the legs. So that allows you to then have softness on the lower back, feel supported, and then cover yourself in a blanket if you're cold. Or put your coat on, and don't worry, I'm not joking. Put your coat on and get yourself nice and comfy. Or it might be that you're quite happy sitting, but totally up to you. And it's a 10-minute relaxation. So do make sure that you're nice and cozy. Katrina can come and join us just in a moment. If you have an eye pillow, then it's a nice time to use an eye pillow. It's just making yourself comfortable. Closing the eyes gently. Just take a moment to settle. We'll just wait for Katrina just to come back. Make sure you're warm, Katrina, and find a comfy place. So feel, if you're in Shavasana, feel the support of the ground. Feel the support of the mat. And that gravity from above giving your weight to the floor, as if you're being held. And just making any adjustments so that you're at ease. Then we're going to move our awareness around our body like a spark. Move that awareness to your eyes, to your lips, your jaw. Relax. Your throat, your chest, your belly, your legs at ease. And feel the whole body start to relax. And don't worry if you drift. It's perfectly normal. But if you are feeling like you're drifting, come back to the sound of my voice. So we try not to sleep, but we allow ourselves into that place where we come to a deep relaxation. And now you can allow yourself to set a sankalpa, an intention. So maybe a word comes into your head. Maybe wishing for health and happiness for someone. Just take a moment. Maybe you picture, visualize, and then listen for distant sounds. Listen for sounds radiating outward, sound to sound. Closer sounds. Just simply observing. And observe the mind, the thoughts and images, and just let them happen and just flow. Let go of past thoughts of the day. Just let them drift. As if clouds are just moving through the sky. Just let the thoughts drift. And be aware of the breath. And just allow the breath to be smooth, to flow effortlessly. And we're just going to let that awareness sweep from the top of the head to the toes in a wave of relaxation. As we begin to count, just count backwards on each exhale from 10. As you count, just imagine walking down a staircase. With each breath, you get heavier and more relaxed. And then let the counting go. Bring the attention to your mouth, your cheeks, your left and right temple, both of your ears, softening the forehead and allowing that smooth feeling. Let the eyes deepen and soften. The right eye heavy, the left eye heavy. Notice your right hand, the thumb, the fingers, the palm, the right shoulder, the right side of the chest, the waist, the thigh, the knee, the right foot, sole of the foot. Bringing your attention to the left hand, the thumb, the fingers, palm of the hand, the wrist, elbow, left side of the chest, the waist, the thigh, the knee, the ankle, the sole of the foot. Allow both legs to feel heavy, rooted, grounded. Allowing the back, the neck, spine, just to feel at ease. Feel your whole body supported. And as you relax, feel the breath rise and fall of its own accord. And the practice of Yoga Nidra is complete. When you're ready to come back, slowly deepen the breath. Slowly moving your toes and fingers. When you're ready, rolling just gently to one side, but pause and pause here until you feel ready to sit up. Just allowing yourself a moment and seated. And bringing the hands gently together. Inhaling and exhaling. And thank you very much for joining class tonight. Hopefully Corey can just, if she's not asleep, it's lovely to see you and I'll see you Thursday. I'm going to switch the recording off. So just take your time. Bye, Corey.